What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the bottom of the map in the red color, playing as Zeus. His name is Momo. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Oranos. His name is Kvoth. It's currently 1-0 for Momo in this best of 5 series. Momo now going in with his Zeus. Zeus against Oranos. A tough matchup for both players. A very, very high skilled matchup. This one comes down to centaur micro, comes down to defending centaurs, comes down to making sure you're applying pressure in the right spaces, not losing units, making sure everything happens in the right order. If you make too many mistakes in this game, in this matchup, you do lose. And honestly, if I'm completely honest, I think that the ball is 100% in the Zeus player's court as to how the game will end up going. If the Zeus player plays a really, really good game with strong micro and strong macro, there's almost nothing that the Oranos player can actually do to win. And it's interesting to say that because it's like, well, how does this make it balanced then? Because it's like, I don't know. Zeus just has the advantage in this matchup in the ultra high level gameplay. But as the gameplay gets lower and lower level, the Oranos player or the Oranos gets more and more chances to win the game. I mean, something can be talked about Oranos lifting their level a little bit and making it harder for the Zeus player to get wins. But for the most part, I feel like this matchup is incredibly tough, especially if the Zeus player knows a whole bunch of different strategies to use. So we can talk a little bit about strategies here for Zeus. So Zeus basically wants to go for, most of the time wants to go for centaur. Yep. Basically wants to go for centaur, Hippocon, hoplites. And if there is another strategy which works really well for Zeus, which is a Athena rush with Hippocon hoplites with a 4-minute advance time, which allows you to get an advantage and win the game nice and early. If your opponent's got exposed gold mine, you have a good amount of food in your base, but it looks like Momo didn't have that here, so he's probably going to have to go for centaur. So onwards and upwards. We'll see what Kvoth's going to do. So basically, Oranos wants to go one town center here, semi-fast mythics, or just one town center, 115 population mythic age, and try and put as much pressure onto his opponent as he possibly can. So picking off stray villagers on hunt and just making life difficult for the Zeus player, as the Zeus player doesn't basically just has to defend those positions. So we'll see how that's going to go. As the temple now coming up for Kvoth. We did see Kvoth do this strategy where he picked Oranos twice in his first series, and I think he lost both of those. And then he went in with Gaia in the third game. So we'll see if Kvoth is going to try and attempt his reverse sweep again. As Kvoth now clicking through Prometheus. No surprises there, 4:30 advance time. Momo going up a little bit late here, getting himself his Jason as well. So he wants to do a 4:40 or 4:50 advance time, or whatever it is, as Jason's coming through. Athena on the way. Very spicy. We'll see how this is going to go for Momo. Momo's going to play this one very much like a Hades style, I would assume. He's actually going for Athena fast second town center, it would seem. So I haven't seen this before. Is there a town center that's good here? This town center can pull the Aurochs in, so it's not bad. It's got a gold mine relatively close to it if you chop through these pine trees. So you do see the Jason moving forward. And has Kvoth learned his lesson? No, he has not. Oracle's out of position. He does have one Oracle back here, though. So he's going to be heroizing that, it would seem. There he goes, in order to try and push back here against the Jason. But you have to micro this. Just garrison in the manor, pull back out, no problems. You got to micro this. He does try and go after the Katoskopos there as the Oracle coming back in. You need all your Oracles if you want to heroize them. You just need 2, because then you can just garrison out, garrison in, and there's no problems there. As we see the Katoskopots coming, getting taken down. The villager dropping over here onto this other caribou here. As the counter barracks does come in, and that's going to be the Jason retreating back. The villagers coming over here to grab this town center. The Oracle will be in position to spot that. But the question really does come is this going to be possible for Momo to defend? He's no longer Hades, so he doesn't have those building advantages, the extra damage coming from the buildings. He can basically play exactly the same strategy if he wants. He's got plenty of food in the bank, but he has forgotten his house. He doesn't quite have the wood to build said house just yet, as he does pull 2 villagers to throw it up. And the citizen going to be moving over here onto these boar over here. There's plenty of resources on this map. We do see the 2 arrows getting grabbed, so he's almost going to be role-playing as Hades with that relic as well, which is very, very nice. Going to be dragging this Orok in to close enough to the settlement for him to be wanting to gather that one there. As we do see the Valor getting thrown down onto these units, and this town center is going to be under attack very, very early, and Kvoth is going to be furious about losing that first game, so he's going to be attempting to get the win here by getting in onto these villages as soon as he possibly can. As the Jason Odysseus moving in onto this position, we see the units coming through as he does decide he's going to have to retreat away. Jason Odysseus, very, very scary. But Momo's got so much food in the back. He's going to be... I like this play from Kvoth, actually. He's going to be attempting to drag the Oroks away here and preventing them from being picked off underneath the town center. So that's actually a really, really smart play. And he's going to be doing that on all of these Oroks to the best of his ability, but one is going to get pulled in as well. We see it gets dragged out. Oh, nice micro there from Momo. Or not quite from Momo. He almost picked off the Murmillo. Kvoth almost able to take down the Minotaur as well. As we see this Orok is very confused about where it wants to die here, it would seem. So that's not a good position there at all. This one might be able to get pulled in. Getting close. Does manage to do that there. As more units are going to be streaming through for Kvoth. He can get very aggressive in this game. We see a stable coming down. Are we going to see Kvoth going 1 town center here, or going to go for that second and third town center he went for last game? You definitely can just go 1 town center against this Athena 2 town center nonsense that Momo's doing here, and just try and hit a mythic age timing to get a gold staff, because all the gold mines are exposed. So you can just go full population, full pressure, try and push off this this food here, and see how you're going to go. As the units retreating back here, Kvoth coming in to hit this one fairly soon here as well. The units retreating away. Not able to get any villager kills, but he is going to be able to surround the Odysseus here. That's absolutely huge. Nice play from Kvoth, and then he's going to swap over onto the Jason here to take that one down. He's completely shut down the food economy of Momo now, as Momo's now going after this this wood here. You do have to be a little bit careful, because Shockwave is available. If he gets really close to this wood line, he can get Shockwaved over here onto the other side of the wood here, and then he's going to lose all of those villagers. Right now, there's a ton of herdables in the main base for Momo, though, as a couple of these villagers are getting prevented from being used right now. I did miss another relic that was picked up here. We do have the Eye of Horus plus 2 town center population, so that's why you can see that it's not 95, it's 97 here. As Momo, as Kvoth does decide to retreat away. I'm not surprised that Kvoth doesn't know this, because he's not exactly an Oranos main, but when you do have situations like this where there's villagers on an exposed wood line like this, Shockwave here, and you can send all of these villagers over the other side and pick them all off. It can be absolutely brutal. As we're seeing a couple of stray Hippocon getting taken down here, as Kvoth is commanding the flow of this game. Very nice here. 2 Hippocons going... Oh. 2 Hippocons going down there, as the army going to be retreating back into this position here. Momo does pull his villagers very fast there, but losing 1 there, as these villagers on the farms can get taken down as well. We see the Odysseus getting tracked down there, as well as the villagers trying to get pushed back. Does manage to pick off another one there. Big Shockwave coming in. That's going to be a second of idle time here, going after another one as well. 38 villagers to 13 villagers, so it's still relatively equal in terms of villager count. That would be roughly about 39 villagers for Kvoth and 38 for Momo. So Kvoth keeping the advantage there. He does decide to go for a town center. No! Go 1 town center in this map. The gold mine here will expire. He went Athena. Sad. All right. Kvoth retreating away. Hoplites, Hippocons are out. He can definitely turn around and take this fight. You want to make sure your Terma are targeting down the Hoplites, though, and not the Hippocon, because they don't do as much damage there. So we see the units pushing forward. Kvoth going to be retreating away here. Town center on the way here as well. We see some cheeky pile blocking going on, but that's going to be a dead villager there, and these units can snake through this these buildings if they so choose. But Kvoth is now getting to town center and looking like he's going for the next age. He's still building units? Not really. He's throwing down an armory. This is very, very Gaia-esque as Momo retreats back. He's throwing down his archery ranges as well. Remember, he does have that relic that allows the archers to be a little bit stronger. It's not quite as strong as Hades' archers, which is a 10% increase, but 5% increase nonetheless is still pretty good, as Hyperion is the god of choice. And the settlement is now up, moving up to 134 population. We see the military barracks getting dropped over here as well, as Kvoth is looking like he's going for a heroic age timing here. This location here could get a palace thrown on it. Over here, a sky passage, and then you just go for that kind of 11, 12-minute gold starve and find yourself in a very, very strong position. Let's see what Kvoth's actually spotted though. He knows the gold has been, he knows where all the gold is basically on the map. So no problems where that's concerned. There's no gold in the big corners of the map. So we'll see if that's what Kvoth's got in mind. Sometimes players kind of just arbitrarily do things and then end up in a good situation. But if Kvoth knows that this is what he needs to do, he will be moving forward and putting a palace on this gold mine. And that's a temple there, which does show some initiative at the very least, as we do see a cheeky chaos getting dropped down immediately onto this position here in order to have those units fighting away. As more straggler units getting picked off, as Momo is desperately trying to continue in this game, but he's going to be losing his Terma very quickly here. Not losing his Terma, losing his Toxotes very quickly here to the Terma, as the stray guy unit going to go down as well, and Kvoth just continuing to pick off straggler units here, doing some good damage. We've got the hero citizen moving forward. Not quite enough resources for Kvoth to drop a palace on this position, but he should be thinking about doing it as he's getting closer and closer to having those resources. Jamino coming through as well, as still more units getting taken down here. Nice play from Kvoth. Really, really good pressure being applied by Kvoth in this game, as Momo is desperately trying to defend. We see another military barracks coming up, as Kvoth is now getting raided on this position. No mana on this food here, as Kvoth thought he was completely safe, but he has to retreat back, loses one citizen. He does have all of these herdables in his base, so there's no problems there, as a stray Odysseus getting caught out of position here. Do we see any upgrades for this? Not just yet. And there's the palace coming down that we said was so vitally important here for Kvoth. And now Momo casting Restoration, forcing Kvoth back. The bolt going on to the satyr as well, as this palace is desperately coming up. We will have to see Kvoth turning and fighting this to dissuade the army from pushing forward here, or at least buying time for the palace to come up. But he's going to be losing a lot of units here, as not only that, but the citizen is kind of out of position here as well, as it's on the wrong side of the palace. But I don't think it's going to matter. The palace will end up coming down, and then this is going to be a very, very strong palace. It's going to push off this wood line as well and cause a lot of issues for Momo, as heavy infantry is going to be coming through. The Toxotes trying to get some good damage done, but the Terma are here in order to deal with those fairly decently. But Momo's actually kind of managed to find himself in a decent position here, as Kvoth has dropped down to 90 population. I'm not sure how that happened here, as the Hippocon is still looking for some raids in the main base. Labyrinth of Minnows coming through for Momo as well, as he's like, all right, definitely need to think about that. And now the village is getting pulled off. Kvoth really butchering this this pressure here at this point, as Momo is going to be able to take the palace down. I'm not sure that Kvoth has got the resources he needs to deal with this right now, as the Toxotes are out and the Terma are destroyed, and there's no good counter to these Toxotes here in what Kvoth has got. And Kvoth doesn't have Kvoth's got plenty of favor here, but he doesn't have the resources to make those satyr that he needed, losing the palace. And Momo gets the gold mine, where this was the entirety of Kvoth's strategy here. And Momo's at 68 villages. Kvoth's at 20 villages. After everything good that Kvoth did here, one misstep here where he pushed in too far, and Momo holds. Momo holds. Momo gets access to the ball. He's got himself Labyrinth of Minos as well, so he can spam those Minotaurs out. And that was just a nightmare there for Kvoth. We'll see if he's going to be able to continue in this game. Obviously, he's Oranos, so he can always kind of continue. But meanwhile, we've got all these villagers on this gold mine that's been gathering for 2,000 gold thus far, and Kvoth has just allowed that. This Oracle is not in position at all here. He sees the granary coming up, but he could have been on this position checking this gold mine out. There's also a shockwave available that he probably could have used in that last fight. But we see a palace coming down over here, and now Momo has just got all the advantage he needs. Apollo on the way now for Momo, and well, I'm thinking that there's potentially going to be a gold staff coming in, as Momo's army is just incredibly strong. Yes, there's heavy infantry through for Kvoth and medium archers, but his army is just not it. At this point, he just doesn't have the population space. We see the palace getting caught out as well, getting denied, as the army is not here to defend. We see the units swinging around, going to be going after the villagers over here. Definitely getting some village kills here is going to be a big help for Kvoth to get back into this game, as he does swing around here. He finds the villagers, going after them. He's going to pick off the vast majority of them. They can't retreat through this wall over here either, so they're going to have to walk straight past this army. It's a huge amount of villagers falling here. There is a shockwave available. The army here going into the middle of the base of Kvoth as well, pushing off the gold mine themselves, as these villagers are mostly all going to be getting picked off. Do you cast shockwave in order to make sure you get as many of these as possible? But it looks like it doesn't really even matter, because Momo's already at 60 villagers, so even after losing all of those, it's not going to matter that much. And now we could see an Underworld moving back over onto this position to defend if he so chooses, coming over here onto this gold mine here, onto this gold mine over here. Let's check out what Momo's seen. Momo does know that there's a gold mine on that position, so he's going to move over there and check that one, as we do see the mana coming up. And now the units retreating back for Kvoth onto this position, but Momo is going to be able to go to the Mythic Age very, very soon. Do we see a market anywhere? I don't see it just yet. We do see the Chaos being used there onto the Manticore, as the army coming in onto this position. The fight has to happen. Huge shockwave there from Kvoth, as those units are going to be sitting idly by, and Momo has to retreat for the time being. The villagers can get back onto this gold mine, but Momo's going to be clicking up to the next stage, going to be using the Underworld Passage as a retreat path, it would seem, as he picks these units off. Where's the actually getting the Underworld to get reinforcements here, stopping the defender's advantage, or neutralizing the defender's advantage here. So the units do continue to fight. Kvoth pushing back as best as he possibly can, but Momo pulling back just a little bit. Is he going Mythic Age here? Yes, he's going Hera. He is going Hera. He says, yep, it's game over here. Lightning Storm onto this army, getting the gold star. We do see these villagers on the front gold mine now, though, so Momo doesn't really have the position in order to get over there, but it's not going to matter that much with Lightning Storm coming in. Especially because Kvoth's gold is just so low here, so he's not going to have much of an answer to what's coming for him. So we also see the villagers moving forward. They're going to steal away this gold mine from Kvoth as well. Very, very aggressive to be moving forward that far, but he feels like he's got the answers here. As the units continuing to pop through onto this position. Momo 50% of the way through. He's got to wait 45 seconds to click this Lightning Storm to take down the units that Kvoth has got. We do see the Hippocon coming over here. I've spotted this gold mine, but Kvoth did shoot up a palace here, so he does have some decent holding power on this gold mine for the time being, especially with the amount of units that can garrison in here. I think it's 8. So it's not as good as a fortress, but he can still garrison there if he so chooses. As Hera's now 80% of the way through, the unit's going to move. There's going to be so many dead units. Oranos or Kvoth is going to drop down to, like, I don't know, 90 population, 80 population if he loses all of these. There's the Lightning Storm being dropped, and Kvoth decides in that moment to just give up. I mean, he is kind of lost in a way. He could continue to fight, but he's going to be losing the majority of his units. He could get into this town center, though. He's pretty close. So it's a bit of a misplaced Lightning Storm in a way. But That's enough for Momo to take the victory. Yeah, I mean, I was talking about like the strategy that I would have done in this situation would have been one town center, full population, full send to the Mythic Age in order to control both sides of the map. The strategy which Kvoth did is also kind of reminiscent of that strategy. It has the same goals in mind in order to control this gold mine, control this gold mine. It's just a little bit hard to do that, but it didn't even matter because Kvoth got stopped. Kvoth got picked off. Kvoth got just killed before he hit his power spike for his timing. And that was just it. And he's just not able to keep fighting here against the might of the Zeus army. I'm surprised Athena worked in this map with a 2-town center like Momo went for here, but Momo knows his limits better than most and gets the dub here. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.